much like the rest of us, it's a head-scratching move. So let's just get to that news real quickly, guys, as DeAndre Hopkins signed with the Tennessee Titans. And so, Toddy, I want to get your reaction on this one first. What do you think of D-Hop going to the Titans?
Well, before you go, Toddy, I have to throw this out there. I forgot to mention it, but he did say the Eagles were kicking ass, so that's an insider. So when y'all can't tell me shit no more, I just want that to be known. Insider.
I was shocked you didn't mention that, Kevin.
No, I didn't want to interrupt the interview, but hey, now I'm gonna talk my shit, so y'all can't tell me nothing.
Okay.
I am bringing any Steelers up.
Back to DeAndre Hopkins.
Yes, I'm about to steal. I just think that, I mean, you guys know that I gamble, and before the odds were plus 8,000 for the Titans to win the Super Bowl. After the signing, the odds were still plus 8,000. So Vegas is telling you, like, hey man, I don't really know if this really does anything. I don't know if it really does too much, in my opinion. DeAndre Hopkins is probably still going to go off. He's going to get his 1,000-yard receiving. He's going to get 80-some yard receptions. I think he's going to have a great bounce-back year, in my opinion. Now, I feel like there's a lot of other questions the Titans have. Their quarterback, for one, is Ryan Tannehill going to be ready? Is Will Levis going to be the guy? I don't think they just have a bunch of question marks at quarterback. Obviously, we know Derrick Henry's going to do what he does. But, I mean, DeAndre Hopkins is one player. Who else is going to be receiving for the Tennessee Titans?
Treylon Burks.
Is Treylon? I mean, is Treylon
Dalvin Holmes. Chris Moore.
Go ahead, Gary. Name all the people.
I got you, man. I got you.
Who's on this team that's going to really be able to, I mean, DeAndre Hopkins is one guy. They could just double him. Who's going to – I mean, Treylon was hurt a lot of last year, and he's a guy that I thought the Niners were going to trade for because, at that point in time, AJ was still on the team. And so when, Treylon, they ended up trading AJ to Philly on draft day, and he ended up getting the signing train, got the deal. Then they drafted Treylon, so I was like, oh, okay. He's not going to the Niners. He's obviously going to the Tennessee Titans. And he kind of had I'd say an underwhelming year. Just, he didn't really get to play as much because he was injured a lot. So we'll kind of get to see what he looks like, beside DeAndre Hopkins. But can he give you 1,000 yards in the season? I'm not sure because he hasn't really played as much. I think Vrabel is one of, I think he just won Coach of the Year like a year ago, before this year. So he's a guy that, you could say he ended the run in New England for Tom Brady because after that year, the Titans put out the Patriots. Brady was in Tampa Bay. So I think Vrabel is definitely one of the top coaches in this league for sure. So he's going to figure out a way to get to 9-8, get to, 10-7. And kind of scrap and claw their way. But their division is not something to be played with. You got the young guns coming in. You have Anthony Richardson with Shane Steichen in
from El Dorado Hills. Shane Steichen.
El Dorado Hills in Indy. And then you got obviously CJ Stroud from that other college. that other college. He was drafted second overall. And then you got the Jags, Cavs Jags. Last year they shocked a lot of people, getting to the playoffs, winning the division. I guess it wasn't really a shock to Kev because he called it earlier in the year. Winning some money from Garry, that is. But are they winning the division? I'm not sure. I don't know if this change puts them over the top. I'm convincingly like, yeah, they got DeAndre Hopkins. They're winning the division now. I can't really say that. I still see the Jags winning this division.
All right, Toddy, or excuse me, not Toddy. Kevin, this is your Jags. So, I mean, do your Jags have some competition now in the AFC South?
No, and I was thinking all day of what my comparison was to the land of lost toys in basketball, but Tennessee is the land of lost toys for receivers. So I'm going to throw out some Hall of Famers, arguably Hall of Famers, a couple Hall of Famers. So we had Andre Johnson go there, 8 games, 9 catches, 85 yards, 2 touchdowns. Randy Moss, you might say,
did play.
8 games, 8 catches, 80 yards, no touchdowns. And then, as you were hearing earlier in the episode, Julio Jones, 10 games, 31 catches, 434 yards, and 1 touchdown. Toddy mentioned, what are we going to see from DeAndre Hopkins? For the followers that listen to a lot of the episodes, we had a factor cap as DeAndre Hopkins, the top 10 wide receiver, and everyone on the podcast was Kevin, you're crazy. You're crazy. It's DeAndre Hopkins. You know, so that like Toddy mentioned, this is going to be his prove year. You know, he wanted to get out of the Cardinals. It was a bad organization. Kyler's getting hurt, so now he's in a new opportunity. Is he going to be able to change the narrative of veteran wide receivers in the NFL? He had a suspension due to his offseason stuff allegations, and he only had 717 yards with 3 touchdowns. So if we're going to see a healthy DeAndre Hopkins for 17 games, like Toddy mentioned, is that 1,000 yards? Is that 8-9 touchdowns? So we're going to see, but I definitely do not see the Tennessee Titans really making a push with this move. Like Toddy mentioned, the odds in Vegas didn't change one bit. So I think we're going to be seeing the same Tennessee Titans that we saw from previous years.
Gary, if you'll unmute your mic, what do you think?
I was just going to say, I'm on the same boat as you guys. Does this move the needle? No, it does not move the needle for them. I wish DeAndre, you know, he obviously chose his destination. I was hoping that he would go to KC, Buffalo, you know, charge somewhere where he has a quarterback with a lot, you know, like a lot of arm talent that he knows that it's not going to be all on him. You know, he has someone in the quarterback that's going to really help him in that department. I was also where, you know, he also maybe had some little more wide receiver help. Like I just mentioned, Jaevon. I was trying to mention some of the wide receivers they have, which is not looking too great at the moment. Of, you know, maybe some of these guys will step up and become a superstar and the number one guy. But I don't really see any money popping off the page here for the Titans that are going to really make a difference. So, I mean, it's good that DeAndre, I guess he gets to prove Kevin right or wrong, I guess, that he's going to be top 15 because, like you said, Kevin, he has an opportunity now. He should get an opportunity, especially with Derrick Henry being in the backfield, maybe to light, you know, and make the box a little heavier and making the back a little easier for him to get some little wide open catches, things of that nature. But at the end of the day, I do believe, again, what Von said, going back to what he said about just this coaching staff and variable, they always, well, 2 things about the Tennessee Titans, I feel like, with all the injuries they've been dealing with these last few years, that they always play hard, play tough, they're going to play smart. So that's one good thing for him, that he's not going to an organization. I know Kevin just said the land of misfit toys for wide receivers, but at least for him, he's going to a culture that, you know, is going to has been winning the last, like, overall the last 10 years has been doing winning things in their direction, and really with a good coach. Those are 2 positives, I would say. But the overall signing, I think it was a bad move from DeAndre. I hope he's happy. I hope it's a good move for him in the overall in his personal life. But in terms of on the field, I just wanted to see him go to somewhere. Well, exactly, Von, the money and everything. You know, personally, I hope it's good for him. But just visually, from a fan perspective, just us looking at it from the outside looking in, I just feel like it would have been better for him to go somewhere with a better quarterback. And I think that's really just the end-all be-all for it. Because like your cousin mentioned, Ron Michael, that, you know, it looks good on paper, but is it going to translate to the field? That's the thing. That's something that we're going to have to really wait to see.